Hello, I'm Daniel Klimkin from the AdWords API team, and this video will demonstrate how to set up AdWords API Ruby client library on Linux. We expect you already have the Ruby interpreter installed, and you can check this by running ruby-v command. The library supports both versions 1.8 and 1.9, but I recommend the latest stable version of 1.9.3. We'll also need RubyGems repository to be available. You can check if it's available by using gem-v command. You can install the library on system or user level. To install on system level, you'll need to run all the commands as root. In this video, we'll run on user level. For it, we need to specify the destination directory by setting gem home variable. Let's set it to home.gem. It is easy to install the AdWords API library. Just type gem install Google AdWords API, and RubyGems will automatically download and install the AdWords API library and all dependencies for you. This can take some time depending on the speed of your connection. There is also one optional dependency I recommend. It's HTTP client. The library will auto-detect available HTTP backends and use the best one it finds. By default, this would be NetHTTP, but you can also use CURP or HTTP client instead. To install HTTP client, just type gem install HTTP client. At this stage, the library is fully installed. The next step is to set up your AdWords API configuration file. Template is available as part of the library. We'll copy it with cp from gems to your home directory. We'll need to adjust privileges to be able to edit the file and open it with a text editor. I'll use login and password credentials here, but I recommend to use OAuth authentication in future. Typing in my demo account details. For the sandbox environment, you can use a generated developer token, which is basically your login name plus currency code. I'll use US dollar here. Comment out client customer ID for the first request. In future, you'll always need to specify it, but this first call is just an exception. We'll update it later. We can use any arbitrary string as a user agent here. Let's use demo tool. You can also change log level here to debug. In this case, the library will output SQL request and response code to the standard output, so it's easier to debug. I'll keep it to info level for this video, so we don't have too much output. Now I am saving the file, and we are ready for our first request. Let's change to the examples directory. It's under gem, examples, and version number, and we'll use 2012-06. The very first request you need to make against new sandbox environment is get campaigns request. It will initialize the sandbox for you and create advertiser accounts. We can make this request with get campaigns example. It's available under basic operations. Just run get campaigns RB. See, we'll get 0 campaigns back, but our sandbox is now initialized and we have several accounts created. To find out their IDs, we need to run get account hierarchy example. It's available under account management. Now you can see we have an MCC account created and 5 client account created for us to test in sandbox environment. Let's choose one of them and use it for further testing. We need to update our configuration file to include this account ID. So I uncomment client customer ID and replace a comment here with our account ID. Now let's try to create few campaigns for this account. Under basic operations, we have add campaigns example. It should create 2 new campaigns for us, and it looks like it did. Let's double check this by running get campaigns example again. you can see we have 2 campaigns created here. There are much more examples available for the library. Check out the examples directory to find them all. We also have a more complex demo application built on Ruby on Rails, which is available from our code site. This is it for this video. If you have questions, please feel free to ask on our forum or on Google Plus page.